We have an entire family coming all the way from Chicago. And since they have two little girls, we're going to have to find them.
Throughout 13 years on television, Tia Torres was an icon of courage.
Because we get hundreds of them on a daily basis. But when I saw a very unique email.
Nonetheless, the moment the stage lights faded, the real life of this Iron Woman was shrouded in suffocatingly dark corners. From a shocking arrest right at the rescue facility, a secret sentence, to a ruthless cancellation by Hollywood that forced her to disappear from New Orleans. What fierce tragedies actually unfolded behind the lens? At present, what truth is her final stop in the remote countryside hiding? The most shocking answer regarding the fate of Tia Torres will be unveiled right below. The journey of Tia Torres did not begin with television glamour, but with deep wounds from the past. Born in Southern California, she had to endure a harsh childhood, devoid of affection from her biological parents. Her parents' early divorce left Tia homeless before she was raised by a strict stepmother. The ironclad upbringing and uncompromising discipline from this individual shaped her resilient character later in life.
I grew up, like so many people, with animals. My stepmom raised me, and she was a humongous animal person.
Instead of collapsing under misfortune, Tia early on revealed the powerful survival instincts of an independent child. She began to seek solace from wild animals, viewing them as her only loyal friends in a lonely life. Entering adulthood to seek her own path and forge herself, Tia decided to join the United States Army. The harsh military environment quickly became a crucial launching pad that familiarized her with iron discipline. Throughout her military service, she was trained in skills to face dangerous situations and extreme pressure. These valuable field experiences later became the weapons that helped her run a complex rescue system. After leaving the military and returning to California in the 1990s, Tia Torres began to realize her dream of protecting animals. She officially established the Villalobos Rescue Center, laying the very first foundation for a grand empire later on. Few people know that Villalobos was initially not exclusive to pit bulls, but was also a sanctuary for wild wolves.
Okay, Mama. Okay. Bruno and the other two were just so scared. They were not about to put up.
Tia had to spend all of her meager savings accumulated during her military time to maintain operations for this rudimentary rescue station. Amid the context of American society in the 90s fiercely stigmatizing pit bulls, viewing them as killing machines, Tia saw the opposite. She recognized the loyal beauty obscured by the ruthless prejudices of the contemporary media. A great turning point appeared when Tia discovered a strange similarity between pit bulls and ex-convicts reintegrating into the community. Both subjects had long been shunned by society, labeled as dangerous and terrifying. Tia began hiring newly released ex-convicts to work directly at the Villalobos Rescue Center. This highly adventurous and humane model quickly helped them rediscover their self-worth through caring for the poor dogs. On that arduous and peril-filled journey, Tia Torres was by no means alone, as her family was always by her side. Her two biological daughters, Tanya and Mariah, dedicated their entire youth to supporting their mother in running the rescue station. The strength of Villalobos continued to multiply when Tia adopted the Hawaiian twin brothers Kanani and Kelly. The two adopted sons quickly became the core force, shouldering the heaviest tasks. As the rescue station began to run smoothly, Tia Torres thought she had found a peaceful harbor beside the man she loved. Nonetheless, this very love dragged her into a dark legal storm, almost burying her entire career just before television stardom struck. The sentence of love. Tia Torres' rescue career was closely tied to troubled lives, and destiny led her to meet Aaron Marcus Jackson, commonly known as AJ. This romance began while AJ was still serving a long-term prison sentence in California. In spite of the harsh societal prejudices regarding her lover's unsavory background, Tia persistently maintained the relationship through letters and prison visits. Right after AJ was released in 2006, the two decided to marry. Happiness was short-lived when just 1 year after the wedding in September 2007, A large-scale raid by elite police forces took place right at the Villalobos Center facility, completely turning their lives upside down. The investigative agency accused Aaron Marcus Jackson of a serious probation violation. AJ was identified as a key link in a large-scale motorcycle theft ring and illegal possession of multiple dangerous military weapons. With a series of serious charges against the law, AJ could not escape the net of justice and received a 15-year prison sentence. The arrest of her husband right at the workplace dealt a heavy blow to the reputation of the rescue center. Recalling the terrifying moment of facing the media at that time, Tia Torres bitterly declared to the press, "I was completely shocked and could not believe that all our efforts to rebuild our lives collapsed so quickly." This shocking arrest immediately turned Tia Torres into the focal point of public criticism and media backlash. Many people questioned the transparency of the Villalobos organization when her partner was a dangerous repeat offender. Nonetheless, this was not the first time this woman bound her life to men with a troubled past. In subsequent investigative reports and documentaries, the dark corners of her private life were gradually exposed clearly. Tia Torres herself later bluntly admitted a startling truth that she had actually been married to two men with serious criminal records. She described her life as a magnet for legal trouble. In an in-depth interview, she shared, "My destiny seems to always be tied to people stepping out of the darkness, and I have to learn to accept the price that comes with it." When the television show began airing its first seasons, audiences across America only saw an image of a resilient, loyal Tia Torres. She continuously appeared on air with promises to wait for the day her husband completed his prison sentence. The reality behind the camera lens, by contrast, was a prolonged mental tragedy as financial pressure weighed heavily on the rescue station. The absence of a male pillar forced Tia to shoulder all the heavy work alongside her children. AJ's strict sentence also caused probation authorities to tighten supervision of the Villalobos Rescue Center. Tia had to constantly prove to local authorities that her organization was completely independent and did not conceal any illegal activities. The breakdown came not only from geographical distance, but also from the betrayal of trust as information about AJ's past continued to be unearthed. Her husband's promises to turn over a new leaf gradually became hopeless to her. Ending this relationship was a painful but necessary decision to protect the future of her children and the survival of Villalobos. Tia Torres officially closed a tearful and mistake-filled chapter of her life to focus on rescuing animals. Suppressing her family pain inside, Tia Torres channeled all her energy into work. Destiny knocked on the door when Animal Planet reached out to her, turning Villalobos into the focal point of America. But fame always comes with a very high price, forcing her to make a reckless relocation decision to save herself. The life and death relocation. The year 2009 marked a historical turning point when the television channel Animal Planet officially aired the first episode of Pit Bulls Parolees. The show quickly exploded, bringing the image of Tia Torres and the Villalobos Center to the global stage. Television glamour immediately brought the rescue station massive public attention, along with a huge fan base. Nonetheless, this rapid fame also brought about extremely complex consequences in California. Local authorities in Los Angeles County began to tighten legal regulations regarding Villalobos' activities. Functional agencies continuously issued strict requirements on permits and kennel standards. Rigorous inspection orders appeared with high frequency, keeping the staff in a constant state of tension. Operating costs in California skyrocketed, plunging the center into a suffocating financial crisis. Tia Torres once bitterly shared in a documentary, "We are surrounded by administrative procedures and unreasonable fines to the point where there is no room left to breathe." This pressure forced her to find an escape route. Faced with the risk of being completely closed down at the end of 2011, Tia Torres made a life-or-death decision. She decided to completely abandon the facility in California to move the entire organization to the state of Louisiana. This was considered a crazy and risky historical relocation for an animal rescue organization. packing up the entirety of Villalobos' life and facilities demanded an immense amount of resources. The biggest challenge was the safe transportation of more than 100 pit bulls, many of which had a history of aggression. They had to undergo a journey of thousands of miles across multiple American states. The relocating group included not only Tia's family, but also ex-convicts under strict probation. The interstate movement of these individuals required extremely complex legal procedures. By 2012, all members of Villalobos had officially set foot in New Orleans, the land dubbed the Crescent City. Nonetheless, the reality here was completely different from what they had previously expected. New Orleans welcomed them with a harsh reality featuring high crime rates and security instability. The exhausted economy following major storms left the lives of local residents extremely precarious. The issue of stray dogs, particularly the pit bull breed, flooded the streets and abandoned buildings in New Orleans. The pressure of relief immediately weighed heavily on Tia's shoulders as the number of animals needing help skyrocketed. The appearance of a large rescue station along with ex-convicts quickly caught the attention of the local government. The local animal control agency continuously conducted unannounced surprise inspections. These inspections were carried out with the purpose of finding flaws in order to close down the rescue station. They always showed skepticism regarding the safety level of keeping hundreds of pit bulls right in the heart of a residential area. Regarding the arduous early days in New Orleans, Tia Torres recounted, "They looked at us as people bringing trouble to the city and found every way to get rid of Villalobos." In spite of the wave of opposition and surrounding traps, Tia still resiliently adapted to the new environment. She re-established work processes and tightened security to protect her family's achievements. Perseverance helped Villalobos stand firm and continue filming the next seasons for the Animal Planet network. Nonetheless, the land of New Orleans was also the place that witnessed the bloodiest tragedies of her career. The nightmare behind the scenes. When the reputation of the show was at its peak, a horrific accident occurring during the 8th broadcast season dealt a heavy blow to Tia Torres. During a routine field rescue operation, she suddenly encountered a serious mishap. The tricky fall caused Tia to suffer a severely shattered ankle and multiple broken leg bones. The injury directly threatened her mobility, forcing her to undergo an emergency surgery lasting many hours. The lengthy recovery process forced this resilient woman to step completely away from her direct managerial position. The management of a complex relief system with hundreds of dogs suddenly fell into a state of utter chaos. The burden of running the rescue station and supervising the group of ex-convicts immediately weighed heavily on the shoulders of her two daughters, Tanya and Mariah. Amid the darkness of the crisis, the two young women had to strive to maintain the survival of Villalobos. They had to both cover the expensive medical costs for their mother and face the pressure of maintaining the filming schedule from the network. The resilience of the second generation helped the center avoid collapse during this dark period. Right after just learning to walk again, Tia Torres faced a horrifying scandal named the Crescent City 5. The incident began when she extended her kindness, temporarily lending the facility to a pit bull rescue group from Detroit. This group of people from Detroit suddenly left without a word of warning after a period of use. When Tia stepped in to inspect the building, a horrific sight behind the closed doors left her stunned. Scattered across the rooms were rotting carcasses of dead dogs with waste feces and urine flooding the floors. The scene was so contaminated and cruel that it caused severe psychological shock to the entire staff of the center. She once furiously declared before the investigative agency, "This is the most disgusting and inhumane cruelty I have ever witnessed in my entire rescue career." These words exposed the hidden crime. Not stopping at animal abuse, this group of people from Detroit also committed an audacious act. Before fleeing, they covertly stole 5 pit bull dogs belonging to the Villalobos station. Tia Torres immediately submitted an official complaint to the local police agency to prosecute this group. Nonetheless, instead of admitting guilt, the fraudsters decided to execute an extremely sophisticated legal strategy. They turned around and countersued Tia Torres in civil court to dispute and claim legal ownership over the 5 stolen dogs. This absurd lawsuit pushed both sides into a prolonged legal battle. To preserve the case-solving information, the judge issued a strict gag order against Tia. This order stripped away her right to speak out and explain the truth on social media for 1.5 years. The forced silence caused the public to continuously misunderstand and criticize her, severely damaging her reputation. Nonetheless, Tia still gritted her teeth and endured it to focus on preparing ironclad evidence before the court. To pursue the lawsuit to protect the poor dogs, Tia Torres had to spend more than $100,000 out of her own pocket. This massive amount of accumulated money was quickly depleted on lawyer fees and legal proceedings. Going through a series of intense hearings, true justice finally sided with the resilient woman. The Supreme Court officially declared the groundless lawsuit from the Detroit group completely dismissed. Case dismissed. Tia Torres choked up and affirmed after the legal victory, "The financial loss is massive, but the lives and safety of the dogs are something that can never be measured by material wealth." The victory in court helped her regain her honor and successfully protect innocent lives from the hands of the wicked. The crisis closed, but it left behind deep wounds regarding her trust in humanity. Overcoming the historical lawsuit, Tia Torres thought the storms had passed. But once again, the ruthless laws of the entertainment industry and the shifting of major media corporations dealt a fatal blow, forcing her to personally put an end to the place that had made her name. The sudden cancellation. In 2022, the American reality television industry was shaken by the sudden disappearance of Pit Bulls and Parolees. Following a record-breaking journey spanning 13 years with 18 brilliantly successful broadcast seasons, one of Animal Planet's top-rated hit series was officially canceled without any prior warning. The underlying cause of this decision stemmed from a massive acquisition deal between major media conglomerates. The Animal Planet channel was completely merged into the Warner Bros. Discovery Corporation, leading to a widespread restructuring of the leadership apparatus. The corporation's new management decided to purge the team and cut a series of legacy shows to change directions. What is worth mentioning is that the network unilaterally canceled the project without providing any official written explanation to Tia Torres. Tia Torres later bluntly expressed her deep disappointment to the media. "They cut the contract just like someone flipping a light switch, cold and without a shred of respect for a decade's worth of effort." The suspension of the television show's broadcast immediately plunged the Villalobos Rescue Center into a total financial crisis. The massive revenue stream from the Hollywood network and advertising contracts was suddenly completely cut off overnight. Meanwhile, the pressure of medical care and food expenses for hundreds of pit bull dogs at the facility did not decrease at all. The severe depletion of reserve funds left Tia Torres facing her greatest risk of bankruptcy ever. To salvage the situation and minimize the economic burden as much as possible, Tia had to make a deeply heartbreaking decision. She was forced to plan the closure of the main facility and withdraw all operations from the expensive city of New Orleans. Skyrocketing rental costs, along with taxes and fees in New Orleans, were no longer suitable for a nonprofit organization that had lost its television lifeline. Her family had to undergo a long and exhausting journey to prepare for the relocation. For over a full year, Tia, along with her children and volunteers, had to carefully pack up belongings and arrange a safe travel route for all the remaining pit bull dogs at the station, ensuring that not a single life was left behind. By February 2025, the Villalobos office in New Orleans officially closed completely, marking the end of a golden era filled with ups and downs. The entire rescue force was ordered to retreat to the remote countryside to establish a new base. Entering 2026, the new reality for Tia Torres and the Villalobos Center is tied to Assumption Parish, located in the Napoleonville area of Louisiana. This is an isolated rural region where operating and rental costs are significantly cheaper compared to urban areas. All core operations of the organization are currently channeled entirely into this second facility to optimize their meager resources. Although the physical facility conditions are no longer as lavish as before, this remains a peaceful home for the poor pit bull dogs. In her 60s, with the stage lights and Hollywood cameras no longer surrounding her, Tia Torres is having to wage a fierce battle for survival on her own in her twilight years. She began learning to adapt to digital media technologies. She personally creates personal podcast broadcasts to continue spreading the animal relief message to the world. Through the paid platform Patreon, she directly appeals for financial contributions from her community of loyal fans. Additionally, the rescue station in Assumption Parish has also opened experiential tours for international volunteers. All profits generated from this activity are fully transparent to purchase food and medicine for the animals. Speaking about her current arduous path, the Iron Woman of the rescue industry affirmed, "The cameras may stop, but the heartbeats of the dogs at Villalobos do not, and I will fight until my last breath for them." The journey of Tia Torres is the clearest testament to courage and relentless dedication. Overcoming all adversity and the ruthless dark corners of the entertainment industry, she remains a steadfast pillar of support for abandoned lives. If you appreciate this deeply resilient and humane story, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss the next investigative reports. Your support is a major motivation for us to continue producing quality content.